we start, I think we should just take a minute to appreciate this comic. Just a sec. Feels good, man. Feels good. Okay, time's up. Sorry, but that moment of gratitude to the gods of geekery was necessary, because, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this series is pretty fucking amazing. So I'm pretty head over heels for Batwing at this point in time. David Zembimbi is currently having a battle royale with Timothy Drake over my poor little fangirl heart. And Ben Oliver and Marcus Toe are also in the middle of an arms race because the absolute eye candy that they both draw is making damn sure, that I'm gonna have a tough time picking a favorite. I mean, look at this. Look at this. I never thought I'd like someone more than Marcus Toe, but you know, it's getting there. For those of you who didn't read Batwing 1, which is a crime because you should, last month's installment of Batwing, we left David with a machete pierced completely through his chest. That's right, a fucking machete. We're like in the straight up jungle here, people. I mean, seriously, only an African villain would be like, yeah, I'm gonna use a machete. What the fuck is this? Are we dealing with like Shaka Zulu or some shit? Well, that's the same scene that we meet him in again with the machete through his chest, skewering him like a chicken kebab. And Massacre, the guy who did it, his nemesis, taunts him and makes him stare at the bodies of what's left of his police precinct as he dies. He very nearly does die until Kia, one of the cops who survived, busts in like Xena warrior princess and starts lighting the place up. Like, eh, 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 eh. During the fight, he blacks out. He wakes up to Matu, the African Alfred, telling David that his injuries have kept him out like a light for 2 weeks. In my head, Matu is totally voiced by Morgan Freeman. I mean, who else would play the Black Alfred but Morgan Freeman? Except for Mufasa. But Mufasa would probably be the villain. I feel like Mufasa would be in charge. So yeah, David freaks out because he's like, shit, I've been out for 2 weeks, what the fuck do I do now? And he's like completely distressed because he's missed so much of the investigation to find and kill Massacre, who of course escaped. The scene shifts to a classroom with a nice guy in a yellow shirt teaching about photosynthesis. In my head, he sounds like a serious African dude like Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. Did any of you guys out there see Coming to America? In my experience, only my black friends have ever seen that movie, but it's so fucking funny. So Massacre pops up and tells him to get rid of the kids because he's like, I'm gonna kill you! And the other guy's like, okay, shit, well then. He attacks, but BAM! Photosynthesis guy is totally a fucking meta with electricity powers. Like, zzz. Back in the Batwing cave, David is up and he's investigating against Matu's wishes. He's figuring out things pretty quickly and knows where Massacre is right now. He blow darts Matu to knock him out, like a badass African he is. And, he just, leaves. Just, deuces. I don't know about you guys, but I blow dart people all the time. I mean, someone gets on your nerves, just somebody eats all of your Cheez-Its in the cabinet. Or what about that douchebag who's walking 2 miles an hour in front of you and he just won't get out of the fucking way and his bag is in the way and he's just moving like a snail? So you're like, motherfucker, get out of my way. Seriously, everybody should have a blow dart. Back at the school, the teacher, who we now know is a meta, and the Massacre calls him Thunderfall. It's a pretty cool name. He calls him Thunderfall, and they're having a huge epic fight, and just when it looks like Thunderfall's about to get the upper hand, Massacre chops his fucking arm off. The fuck? Well, shit, what now? With Thunderfall screaming on the ground and Massacre about to deliver the last blow, Batwing swoops in at the last second like a bat does, and he says, I'm Batwing, and I'm going to beat you until you cannot stand. Sweet introduction, David. Sweet introduction. Between the scenes, just like in the first issue, the story jumps to a point 8 months prior to what we're reading now. And during those 8 months, it shows Bruce basically training David and outfitting him with the costume and building him with the bat cave and being his, his sugar daddy, kind of. His bat sugar daddy? The bat daddy. Sugar bat daddy. Anyway, yeah, he introduces him to Matu. He even gives him his Alfred. Really, Bruce? Really? I really love these scenes though because the dynamic between Bruce and David is so interesting. Here you've got two legitimate Batmans from environments and past that couldn't be any more different. David is eager to exact justice, just the same way as Batman, but he's a bit reluctant to become Batwing because, as he says, African criminals won't be afraid of a man in a bat suit. I mean, I love that line too, because Judd Winnick, the writer, has shown in only one phrase what a masked hero would mean to a place like the Congo. Because really, what does Africa care about a dude running around dressed like a bat? They've got genocides and mass kidnappings and child soldiers and famine, problems that are so much bigger than a Superman or a Booster Gold. Bruce's answer to him? Sell it. And sell it David does. David makes such an excellent parallel to Batman in all of the best ways. He's a great detective, even if his skills are behind those of Bruce's, and it's kind of endearing to see a Batman who is so idealistic about justice. And, maybe idealistic isn't the word for it, but David is definitely not a brooding bat. This is a bat that just gets shit done, but he gives you the sense that he truly believes he can make a difference and he really feels like he's changing things. And most of the time, I feel like Bruce has just kind of given up on Gotham and he's only there just to, make sure shit doesn't get worse than it does, which is, you know, it's a good thing because Gotham can get pretty shitty, but I feel like Bruce just has lost hope at this point. And so I love Bruce for his broodiness, but I love David because he's not. Needless to say, I love the dialogue in this book. Fantastic stuff. The art is just amazing. I need to show you. Oh my god. Okay, here's where we figure out that Thunderfall is a meta. Look at it. Isn't that beautiful? I absolutely love this. This is the best art. Oh my god, I love it. It's so unique and the style is just I have no words for how much I love this art. Batwing is decidedly a pretty brutal book, and I approve of this wholeheartedly because it's not gory for the sake of being gory, but it's a painfully and frightening honest kind of brutality. And as a superhero comic set in Africa, it should be that kind of brutal honesty. Batwing is most certainly in my top 5 titles to come out of the reboot. It's just awesome. And believe me when I say it is definitely worth the read. Even if it doesn't sound like your thing, just give it a try, because you might be surprised. I'm sure it's no surprise to anyone that I'm going to give Batwing First Blood a 5 out of 5. Keep on keeping on, Judd and Ben. The name Judd makes me think of the Beverly Hillbillies. But I think the Beverly Hillbillies' name was Jed Clampett. Judd Clampett? I don't know. It's a pretty hillbilly name.